the class. Okay, today we'll continue our lesson from gathering food to growing food. Okay, the earliest people. So till yesterday we have discussed about the paintings. Okay, paintings, and we have discussed about how they invented fire. Okay, and how they invented microliths, that stone tools. Yes or no? We have heard, right? And okay, and yesterday we have learned about Stone Age sites of Telangana areas. Okay, on the stones also they have painted something. Okay, painted about some animals. Okay, and painted about some of the plants collection. Yes or no? And we have learnt about some of the stones also they used as their house. Okay, that all. Even they have given in our Telangana important rock art sites. Okay, and hunters gatherers in our times shared the living. How they started off shared the living means they did not go for storing of the food. Yes or no? Whatever they have hunted today, that only they'll consume on that day. They'll not go for any storage. That will be perishable very soon also, because there is no any techniques, and as well as there is no vessels. There is no they do not have any houses as well. So whatever they hunted, that they'll share with others and they'll go for eating. Even there is no food, rich and poor, there is nothing. Okay, they'll hunt, they'll consume for that day, and they'll roam for another place. So in this way they have started seeing of grass, some of grains. Okay, when they ate, that makes them to be fulfilled, means fulfill of the stomach. And the next, then they started searching of that type of grains. Yes, and then they started cultivating of that type of grains. Okay, so like that started as gathering to the growing food. Okay, so learning to grow crops and tend animals. Okay, today our topic is learning to grow crops and tend animals. That means domesticating animals. How they started domesticating of animals. Okay, and how they started growing crops. Okay, how they started growing crops. See, I'll read you, then I'll explain why. Because even when you started with the 6th class, right, you have to know the pronunciation, spellings, and reading skills also. Understood? So that's why when I'm reading, you too have to see in your textbook. Okay, when I'm reading, you too have to see in your textbook and go for the pronunciation of that word even. Okay, see, men, women and children probably observed the places where edible plants were found, how new plants sprouted from seeds, etc. Perhaps they started looking after the plants, protecting them from birds and animals, so they could grow and the seed could repair. That means men and women along with the children, they will be roam from here to place another, like that I told you right yesterday. So everybody else started observing about the grains. Okay, which are edible plants, which are edible grains. They started observing and they just checking, and they started off eating. Okay, and they came to know that how the plant is coming out from the seed. When from the seed sprout, how the plant is growing on. Okay, they came to know that. So this is the process starting of crops. Okay, many people who lived in grasslands where edible grains began to rely more on these grains for their food and took to growing them. In this way, different groups of people in different parts of the world became farmers. Okay, so like this, people are started farming. They came to know how the plant is growing from the seeds sprouts. Okay, and they came to know that which are edible grains. Okay, so in different places it is they are looking, when they are searching. Okay, so in different places they have gone for different grains, right? So that is started off growing crops. Okay, different people in different places learn to grow paddy, wheat, barley, pulses, millets, tubers and vegetables. Okay, see, not only in one area, in different people in different places they came to know about the cropping. So at that time, whatever they started off cropping, wheat, paddy, barley, vegetables, tubers. Okay, tubers, you know tubers. Tubers means nothing but these all whichever grown in earth, ground level, right? Ground. That means this like carrot, potato, sweet potato, radish, like that. Those all are called as tubers. Okay. When people came into contact with each other, they learned from each other how to grow and use different kinds of crops and vegetables. And when they started this farming, they came to contact with other persons. Okay, they came to contact with other persons, and whoever knows about something, they just exchanged their knowledge and they started cropping more and more. Okay, for example, everybody knows not everything, right? So when they came into contact, before that there is no contact between them. Contact means, don't you think, mobile contact? Okay, contact. Okay, contact means just talking to others. Okay, talking with others. So previously they did not go for talking with any others. Only women and men, the children, they'll go like that. Okay. So when they started off their croppings, they started off talking with others. When they started off talking with others, they came to know which they don't know. Okay, which they don't know about the croppings. So that is also increased of cropping. Okay. Another step of agriculture. Similarly, people may have allowed gentle animals to come near their camps and eat grass and other leftover food. They may also have protected these animals from other wild animals. In the process, herders got plenty of benefits like regular supply of meat, animal skin and milk. Later, they started using oxen and donkey for carrying loads and ploughing the fields. Yes, people slowly people have making habituate of some animals like this dog, cows, sheep, like gentle animals, not the cruel animals, not wild animals. Okay, firstly, okay, they called make them to be near, and they are offering some of the food which are left over whatever they hunt or else whatever they gathered. Okay, and sometimes they are protecting these animals, gentle animals, from other wild animals. So the animals are habituated to this person. Yes or no? That is nothing but domestication of animals. Yes or no? Giving food, offering shelter with them, and as well as protecting from weather conditions, and as well as protecting from the other wild animals. So that is nothing but domestication of the animals. So like in this way, ancient people were started off domestication of animals. So by domestication of animals, they got more benefits. Okay, they got more benefits. What are especially the herders, cattle raiders. Okay, they'll domesticating the number of goats at a time, number of sheep at a time. So they'll give for others meat, or else about milk and skin of these all animals. So like in this way they got the benefits also from the animals. And oxen, bullocks, okay, they'll use for cultivating the lands, for tilling the land, for ploughing, or else they used to donkeys for carrying the loads for to the agri fields to their settled down areas, like that. Why I am called settled down areas? They did not started even buildings also at that time, right? Settle down area. First they settled down one place, then they started off wood houses, then they started off with the rocks. Okay, rocks houses like that. Then they started up mud. Okay, like that they have grown up till we reach now concrete houses. Yes or no? In your next future generation, glassware houses may arise. Of course, no, it is started in glassware houses. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, domestication, as I told you now. What is domestication? Okay. Offering food, offering shelter. Okay. Offering food, offering shelter, and as well as protecting from weather conditions and all, that is called as domestication, right? And as well as I told you now about the domestication of animals, okay, and as well as the domestication of plants also in our life. That is in the form of agriculture. Yes or no? That is in the form of agriculture. See, people usually select those plants and animals that give good yield and but are not prone to diseases. I'll continue. Yes, here, okay, domestication. See here, people usually select those plants and animals that give good yield and but are not prone to diseases. Seeds of such crops are selected and used for sowing in the next season, and only animals of selected types are allowed to breed. Thus, plants and animals tended by the people became different from the wild ones. When people so selected the crops and protected them till they bear fruit, and when they allow selected animals to breed and protect them for their own use, it is called domestication. See, plants and animals give good yield. See, domestication is nothing but comes under the plants and animals. Okay. See, they will select, for example, they'll go for a crop of this year. They might have got out some of the seeds. Okay, and they have got out some different types of seeds from that. One is in big size, one is maybe in small size. Because when I'm saying first, when they started off cropping, okay, first when they started off agriculture, so they came to see that one is in big size, one is in small size, okay, and one is not affected by any diseases, one is affected by diseases which got some less heat. So like that, when they have seen these all types of seeds, they selected which seed is not affected soon about the plant diseases. So they selected the tall seeds and they kept aside that seeds only they will be used for the next session of cropping. Understand? They will protect the tough seeds and that seeds only they'll use for the next season of cropping. Why they choose like that? Because whatever the selected seeds, right? That seeds, why they selected that? That seeds plants should not be affected by the diseases. If it is not affected by the diseases, yield crop will get high. Means more paddy, more wheat they will get back. So yield will be get high. So that's why they selected that best one and which is not affected very soon for the diseases. They selected aside and they grown. Okay, they sown that seeds in the next season. Same like animals also. See, you may get a doubt. Actually, wild animals when they lived in a forest, it's all like wild only. How it is become habituated to the human beings. Wild animals when they see any of a living organism, they try to attack and consume it. Sir, that we know, sir now. Then how it is domesticated to the human beings? Why that wild animals did not attack on these ancient people? Why? Because from years onwards, ancient people trying to be domesticate with them. Okay, trying to be domesticate with them from many years onwards. For example, they have seen a small puppy to near to them. Okay, so they started out domesticating that. So another puppy, then that breed only, the next after 2-3 years that breed means another one puppy, it will come from the dog. So that, so like this, even in the animals also they are going to be select some type of breeds. That tree should what, that tree should, it is turned into the wild to the domesticating animals. See, if we carry out a small puppy from the wild, from the forest areas, or else not for penny, if we carry to our places, if we grown up in our places, how it will be same, how we will say it will be do like that, yes or no? So like that, when we are doing it, it will forget all that wild areas, atmosphere and wild areas things, attacking on others to be eaten like this all, it will be forget, yes or no? So this way they have chosen. Okay, that's why now in the some of animals which we can see in our areas, it is not harmful to the human beings, because years on passing on, they have changed. Okay, they have changed some of animals wild to the domesticated. Okay, animals they changed, and as well as they changed the plants seeds also. Okay, they changed the plant seeds also by selecting. Okay, whatever they collected the grains, from that they selected. For example, he got some of a big grain of pad. Okay, some comparing to all that, for example, all are maybe 1 mm size. He got another 2, 3, 5 seeds of 5 mm size. For example, just assume it. Okay. So what he has done, that or whatever the 5 mm size, right? So that seeds he kept aside, he preserved. Okay. Then the next year he sown that 5 seeds in the land. So he got the next hundreds of seeds. So that he will be stored again. He started like that. Lakhs of grains within the years. He get to know which seed size is 5 mm size. Get you know? So like this, domestication they have started in the plants and animals. In this way, over hundreds of years, people reared and propagated plants and animals beneficial to them in special ways. Of course, not all people took to growing crops or rearing animals. All people they did not go for started off cropping and rearing of animals, not like that. Some people are going like this, and some people are yet to be, they are going for hunting and gatherings. They are going for collecting something, fruits, collecting of honeys like that. Many people continue to hunt and gather in the forest, and again, not all people practiced agriculture in the same way. Even whoever doing agriculture also, they are not using the same way in their agriculture. Okay, they are not using same ways. That is differentiate from one place to another place. Okay. Initially, many people practiced shifting agriculture like podu. Podu you might have known about it. Podu nothing but they'll do the farming in this area for this season, and the next season they'll not grow crop here. They'll shift it to another place to start the cropping. Okay, that is podu agriculture type. So mostly when they started off cropping, they'll go for podu agriculture type only. At that time, what they thought, so where there is no crop in another place, their soil become fertile. So we don't need of worry about any soil. If we grow the seeds, we will get the yield they thought. So they shifted to the another where the place did not any croppings. Okay. See, people like this, when they shifted from place to another place for cropping, right? Even for cropping areas, that is podu agriculture type I told you, right? So then after they came to know that whatever they reared animals dung, okay, the reared animals, right? Even sheep, goats and cows, oxen. So the dung they kept it is fallen into the areas, in crop areas. Okay, So wherever the dung where is there, no, there the soil become fertile. Okay, that is used to that soil as a manure, and they got the best yield. Then they came to know by using of these domesticating animals dung and all. So we got the plant, we got this much yield. We came to know from next year onwards they did not go for podu agriculture. In that land only they are shifting for manure. Okay, they shifting to choose the method what manuring the land. Okay, they'll use the cattle dung and all leaves. Okay, leaves wastages. Okay, that all they'll use as their manure into their agricultural fields, and they started off using in that way. Understood? See, combined a little hunting and gathering from the forest along with the growing crops. Some of them realized that the fertility of a soil could be maintained by tilling and using manure. Of course, using manure, I told you, even by tilling also. If we till the land, okay, if we till the land, the soil become up and down, right? Whatever the down earth, it will become up. Yes or no? So by in that way soil become fertile. That will be maybe useful more for the plants to grow. Yes or no? So they thought like that. They started tilling also, even applying manures and as well as tilling of the land. Okay. When they began using the flock and animal manure, they did not have in search of new fertile lands every few years, as I told you. They did not go for another land. Actually, that all forest area, they are living there, they are going here and there. Okay, so if they want to be start their cropping, they'll cut that forest area, they'll clean up, then they will go for crop there. After some of that season, then they'll go for another place, they'll cut the trees and they'll start like that. Or they'll select off some grassland areas and they'll do that. But when they apply tilling and manure, right? When they go for tilling of the land, when they apply manure from the animals' dung and all, so they did not shift the place to do the crop. Okay. Next, settle the land. Okay. So in this way, they started domesticating of animals and the plants. Okay, and they started cropping techniques also, fertiling of soil. Yeah, by using manure and all. Then the next is settle the land. They go for houses to be correct the place. Okay, and years on passing on, they have lived there. Okay. See, when people began growing plants, they had to stay in the same place for a long time to look after the plant, watering, weeding, drying away animals and the birds till again dry plant. Yes. Okay. At the harvest time, they got so much grain that they could not eat it all at once. It had to be stored for long periods, about 6 months to 1 year. All this meant that people had to stay in one place and build a house and store the grain. Okay. Yeah. When they started growing the crops, so when they started seedling, okay, after that they could not leave that and they cannot go, right. It takes some months of the time to get the product back. Yes or no? And in the middle they have to be care about that watering and any weeding out. Okay, and they have to be protect that crops from the birds and animals. Okay, and they have domesticated some animals, right? For that also they have to give some food and all. Yes or no? And after harvest, they'll get some huge a bag of rice or a bag of paddy and all, right? So that they could not eat a day or else eat it next day or not, right? So for that what they have to do, they have to be store that, and that many months they have to be in that place only, right, where they are cropping. So how they will live in that many months? So this is all mean to what, they started building of the houses to live near their crops. Okay, to live near their crops, to look out the crop and as well as to look out the animals. Okay, see, that is lead to what? Starting of a building of their houses. See, at that time there is no bricks like this. Okay, then how they did? Just assume by using of some strong leaves. Okay, by using of mud and the stones. Okay, so they started building of the houses. See, once staying in one place became inevitable, they constructed huts of stone, as I told you, and huts of wood, huts with mud. Okay, even huts with mud, if you see some of riverside villages, which is a long, if you see, you can see that the mud villages. Of course, I have seen in our areas only, whichever near the rivers, right, who are having a settle down very near to the riverside, right, they'll go for these mud huts only. Okay. Vessels were needed to cook grain and okay. So what is the need to building their house? They have to be leave till they get back their crop. Okay, and they have to be store whatever they got the grains. So that is lead what the started of building the houses. Yeah, like huts. Yes or no? Then how they will be storage the grains? Yes or no? How they will be storage the grains? And after storaging also, how they will eat that? How they will cook? See, these all mean to what, making more pots. By thinking of all things, they started off making pots. Okay, see, vessels were needed to cook grain and store water and milk. Whatever they got the cattle's milk, right? How they will store? Previously, just they take it out and they drank. But then, if they want to be store that milk, for that also they need vessels, right? It led to making of parts and different kinds, as I told you. Okay. They also started painting and decorating the pots to make them look better. After making of the pots, they just started off some painting on the pots also, just simply to look out better. Cooking also required stoves and stones for grinding corns, etc. Grinding corns means up to now also we are in some houses they are using with a stone grinding. Do you know stone grinding, which is having a hole in the middle, and another one they'll keep grains in the middle and they'll use like this. You have seen in some villages up to now also we can see that. Okay, so they'll go for that type of grinding stones, and some stones they arrange for cooking, that is only called as stove here. Stove means not electric stove, not whatever we are using LPG stove. Okay, just a stove. At that time they'll use for any 3-4 rocks. Okay, and they'll keep on that pot with the using of fire. They started off cooking. That the stove here mean it. Okay, when archaeologists dug up the place where early farmers lived, they usually found the remains of huts, pots, stoves, microliths and grinding stones. When the archaeologist department is another one, okay, it is finding out the early people's any remainings, any exhibits. Okay, so when the archaeologists were digging out, they have seen that some of grinding stones and microliths, okay, and seeds also, which is you can look at here. Archaeologists have found the remains of food preserved 12,000 years ago. How they preserved the seeds? See, like this they'll go for preserving of the seeds. Why? This is the best type of the seeds. Okay, that's why they preserve. They want to be used for the next season, right? So how they preserve? In the middle of the bark of a tree, right? And they found some of huts, pots and stoves. Okay, the early farmers needed to clear the forest by cutting trees and branches. They created new kinds of stone tool which is called an eole. Okay, all of you have to read the lesson and continue.